This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
So, Perk, explain to me. 1st and 10, fullback dive. Where does that make any sense? In what world?
Big O, you know what? I wrote a column saying that, you know, the Dolphins, the run game should be a factor, but not the main factor. They got seduced into thinking they're a running team. You beat a bad New England team by a half a foot because Jalen Polk's half his foot was out of bounds, and you think you're a run team. You've still got to pass to win. You've still got to get the ball to Tyreek Hill to win. That's your best offense. You've got to figure out a way to get the ball to Tyreek. That was their undoing. If they run the ball too much, something is going to happen. I didn't think it was going to be 2 fumbles, especially by Mostert and Alec Ingold. I thought maybe there might be an injury, or I thought maybe they just wouldn't score enough points or something. I didn't think it was going to be
Jalen Wright is dealing, bro. Jalen Wright is dealing, man.
Big O,
and by the way, why are you waiting till the second half to give Jalen Wright carries?
Big O, here's the other thing. I thought Jalen Wright was the key to the running game last week. They think it was Raheem. Like, the dude had, 13 for 86? He's running between the tackles with authority. Feed that man the ball. I mean, right. That's the other thing is like you were feeding the wrong guys. Jalen Wright was the one who gave you that spark last game.
I'm with you. These are things that frustrate me, Perk. When I'm watching this going on, I just don't understand. Let me ask you something. We talk about Danny Crossman. Let me ask you, how does John Embry still have a job? None of his tight ends they all screw up. Even Jonnu, who makes catches, makes all kinds of mental errors. Smythe is constantly screwing up. Julian Hill is a sack of penalties. And Tanner Connor's been stealing money now for nearly 3 years. What does John Embry do at tight ends, coach? Please explain that one to me.
Big O, I like Embry, but his guys have been terrible this year. I just did a note on that today, just how bad these tight ends have been. And I mean, and then Julian Hill misses a block on the sack that they had. I mean, it's just terrible. It's just one thing after another with the tight ends. It's one thing after another with special teams. Oh, by the way, the tight end had a special teams flag. I mean, it's just like it's incredible how much meat this team leaves on the bone. It's penalties and it's bad play calling and it's missed tackles and it's just one thing after the other. And Big O, my big fear with this team is that this is beyond Tua. And I've been saying this goes beyond Tua. This is not a one-man fix.
Tua was just masking the issues.
Right.
And he can only, because he's not a Josh Allen type, he can only mask so much because he doesn't have that athleticism part to even hide it even more. So now it's come out even more. And as a coach, you're getting exposed, dude. That's what's going on with McDaniel. He's gotten really exposed here.
I agree. I wrote a column this week saying, I'll ask you again, Dolphins fans, is Mike McDaniel a good coach? Because I just wrote this column before the Kansas City playoff game. And it just keeps going. It's not only that this team does not beat the better teams, it's that this team doesn't beat it doesn't win when they're expected to lose.
It beats itself constantly.
Yeah, and they beat themselves. And you know what, Big O? This was a big deal last year when Mike McDaniel was talking about, maybe this was after the Philly game, and he was saying, these teams don't beat us. We beat ourselves. And he was talking about Buffalo and Kansas City and Philly. And I'm sitting there going, how is that any better? Like how is that? Like you're losing these games. It doesn't matter if you're getting your face kicked in by them or you're kicking your own face in. Amen. You're losing and you shouldn't be losing. That's the bottom line, that they shouldn't be losing all these games, Big O.
Perk, you got a freaking gift today. Anthony Richardson was your starter, bro.
Right.
You could not have been given a bigger gift today, and you couldn't take advantage of it. And whether if it's pre-snap penalties or turnovers, the thing is, you cover the team every day. Nobody ever pays a price.
No.
Ever. Nobody
No.
gets cut. Nobody gets benched. Julian Hill can screw up 8,000 times, and he's back at lining up again. And this week, when, it was earlier in the week when coach says, well, if you look at it negative, but the way I look at it, and it's a positive, I'm sorry, you can't spin everything into a positive. Sometimes some things are negatives, and you want to turn them into a positive, use those negatives as examples. And they don't. They don't.
No, somebody's got to crack some skulls in that organization, and look, I call McDaniel the great experiment, right? The player empowerment thing that I've never seen player empowerment to
Ridiculous.
This level, right? Nobody gets called out publicly. I was asking the other media members this week. I think that Durham Smythe this year is the only starter to lose his job through performance, and he's replaced by Julian Hill, who
Right.
apparently can't lose his job, right?
Right.
I mean, this is ridiculous, Big O. Like nobody gets called out publicly, nobody loses their job, nobody gets cut. It's always up with people, positive reinforcement. I'm all for player empowerment, Big O, but the boss has got to be the boss. You can't be their friend. You've got to crack some skulls. You've got to let these guys know that this is not going to be tolerated. Change has to be made, and McDaniel doesn't do that. I like McDaniel. I respect McDaniel, but I question the way he's running this team sometimes.
Oh, yeah, no, the players are running the team now. Dude,
Yeah.
when players are taking themselves off the field and the coach is calling a third down and your two best players are off the field at that moment, that's disgusting, dude. That's disrespectful. And by the way, what player pulls himself off the field on third down?
Yeah.
I can't imagine O.J. McDuffie not wanting to be on the field on third down. I've been around that dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've never seen that in my life. And the lack of professionalism, too, because Tyreek today, again, I get it, dude. You're not getting the ball. They suck at getting you the ball, but you got to be a pro and be ready. And the one moment you had a chance to make a play, whatever excuse it was, you lost it and whatever, I don't care. You just weren't prepared. And it's just, if the yin isn't ready, the yang isn't ready either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and Big O, and I've probably told you this before, my big fear with this team is they're missing a golden opportunity, Big O. Like all the talent that you have, all the work you did to get Teron, to get Chubb, to get Tyreek, like you did some really crafty maneuvering here, and you're letting it all go to waste. You're just letting it all go to waste because there's no discipline. Like you're losing games that you should win. You're getting penalties that you shouldn't get. You repeatedly make mistakes that should have been taken care of weeks and months ago. And you've got a backup quarterback situation, Big O, that, I guess that's over for the time being because we expect Tua is going to be back next week. But Big O, I mean, my goodness, it just goes back to the Skylar Thompson, Mike White thing that, like, you had these guys in-house for months through OTAs and training camp. If you knew one of them was inadequate, why didn't you replace him? Why did you go months with this guy on your team and then you just cut Mike White? It's like you wasted the whole offseason with him. Get Tim Boyle in here months ago. Get Snoop Huntley in here months ago. Get somebody in here months ago, but now you're paying the price for it because Skylar and Tim and Snoop aren't up to the job. They haven't been trained properly, or they're not performing properly, or both.
Yeah, and you wonder, okay, the real indictment out of all of this is on McDaniel, because you had Skylar around you for 2+ years, and this was your assessment of the quarterback. That's really, really bad. And then I'm sure they tried to get a quarterback in the offseason. I don't know why. I wonder at times, did people not take the job here because Tua figured it out last year and they said, oh, okay, no, he figured it out. I'm not going to have a chance there. Let me go somewhere where I do have a chance, which sounds kind of foolish when you're talking about Tua, who's very injury prone. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I just have a hard time believing that they didn't try to get a quarterback or they had trouble getting a quarterback. If you just went straight up with Skylar and White, oh my God, dude, then, you got to blow the whole thing up.
Yeah, and Big O, everybody wants to play here pretty much. Like these players love Mike McDaniel. He's got a reputation throughout the league of being a player's coach. I have a problem with this. You've apparently got an offense that's only suited to one quarterback, to Tua. The things that he does well, the quick reads, the accurate throws, the getting the ball out of your hands, he's the only one who can run your offense. I have a major problem with that, but that's fine. Set that aside. When somebody else comes in, why can't you have an offense designed to fit their strengths? You don't.
I'm sorry. Are you talking Woodley Strock?
I mean, this is crazy, Big O. It's like a one size fits all offense, and it doesn't fit all. Like it only fits one guy. I don't understand why we don't see changes made to the offense. But I also
listen. Getting old sucks because your body's falling apart. Right. But it gives me one fucking thing, and that's perspective, baby. I've been at it. I've watched it. I've seen it all.
Yep.
And so, and I've watched Spo in the middle of the blood clot years with Chris Bosch change offenses three times in a season. Yep. We've watched all kinds of coaches. By the way, the guy you just played, Shane Steichen, he has to play one offense with Richardson, another one with Flacco.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
So this isn't an old man. Oh, he brought up the Shula thing. No. I'll bring you Spo, and I'll give you Shane Steichen, who you just played right now. And it just proves over and over and over. Here's the part of everything, okay? The Miami Dolphins have hired the great coach in Jimmy and the great college coach in Saban. They've hired the great NFL guy in Parcells. They've hired a up-and-coming coach who won a Coach of the Year in Wanstead. They've hired the up-and-coming coordinators all over the place.
Yep.
Now, this is the first time they hire the guy, and by the way, they've hired offensive and defensive up-and-coming coordinators. Now, this is the first time they hire a guy that was never even a coordinator. Perk, they've tried everything.
Yeah.
Nothing has worked.
Yeah. No, it's incredible, Big O, that like, and I don't understand how, we look all around and we look at the Marlins have snuck up and won a couple of titles, and the Panthers make this great Huberdeau for Kachuk trade, and we've seen the Heat.
Those are general managers, bro. Remember, Dombrowski built both those Marlins teams. He built the first one, and he built the other one off the fire sale.
Yep, right.
And so it's Dombrowski, and now we've got our boy in the Panthers. Now that I'm brain farting.
Not.
Anyway,
I keep thinking of not Vinny. Vinny is the own Bill. Zito.
Damn it. These are great general managers, and they have shaped their teams, and they have visions.
Right.
And there are players that come here from somewhere else, and they become stars here much better than where they were. And these are things that they haven't been able to do. And Dombrowski did the same thing when he built the current 97 team. And then he had the vision for 2003 down the line. He left you a whole bunch of pieces, including Cabrera. And so that's, it takes great general managers to do that kind of stuff. And it just hasn't happened here where, by the way, I like the talent on this team. Apparently you do too.
Yep.
The personnel side isn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be, but where the personnel has actually screwed up is they have failed to land the right coach. The first guy couldn't build an offensive staff, and this guy can't even coach.
Yeah. No, because the talent is here, Big O. You just have to have the system to fit the talent. But the talent, you're not going to get much better realistically as quickly as you built this thing up, which was a good job. You were going on the draft. And then all of a sudden let's strike while the iron is hot. Let's get Tua. Let's get Tyreek. Let's get Teron. Let's get Ramsey. Let's get Chubb. I applaud that. I wholeheartedly applaud that, but you've just screwed up since then. You got all that talent in house, but you haven't been able to do anything with it, and that's a shame. I hope they don't miss this opportunity. I hope this window doesn't shut on them, but it's more than halfway shut right now.
Oh yeah, no, it's getting really, 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 really bad. And I think the longer you stick with McDaniel, the more you bury your franchise, unfortunately, because I can argue that for the last 3 years, including Flo's last year, you should have won 1 or 2 more games.
Right.
And now this year, in year 4, which is year 3 of McDaniel, you should have already won 1, 2, or 3 games here. And
Right.
we're only 6 games into the season.
Yep.
And I can argue that you should have won up to 3 games.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just missed opportunities, and you hate to see it slipping away like this because you don't get these opportunities very often. The previous Dolphins teams, you know, whether it's Flo or whether it's Gase or whether it's Philbin, you were just hoping to get into the playoffs, hoping to beat the Patriots. These teams are supposed to win a Super Bowl, and they haven't taken the first step, which is to win a playoff game.
Yep, they're slipping, they're falling,
Yep.
they can't
Yep.
get up. They're slipping, they're falling, they can't get up.
That's it, man. It's a shame. It's a shame, Big O.
Love DMX. Rest in peace,
baby.
my brother. Rest in peace.
Yep.
What do you got going on the Sentinel, my man, so folks can check you out?
Yeah, so today I'm just writing about the offense, and I just, Big O, I don't understand how you can't get Tyreek Hill the ball. I mean, a back shoulder throw, whatever. I mean, today they should have done it, but I can't understand how you can't get him the ball. So I'm just kind of writing about that, and then as we go on in the week, I'm planning on doing something on my man Tim Bowens, because he's being honored on Sunday. He's going into the Ring of Honor. So he was one of my all-time favorite Dolphins. So I'm going to be planning on chipping away at a
favorite thing with Timbo was, okay, I was cool with Timbo.
Yep.
So I could walk up and have conversations with Timbo anytime I wanted. I was one of the few, as you know, he didn't allow very many people into a circle, but I was one of the lucky ones. But the best part was when we got newbies, and it reminds me a little bit of St. Elmo's here in Indy.
Yep.
That when you go to the restaurant and you go with a newbie, you got to have that shrimp. Dig right in there, baby, into that shrimp. So you would tell them, oh yeah, no, go over there. Tim Bowens is the best. Go over there, go ask him all those questions. And we'd all stand there, and Tim Bowens would give him that nasty look. And he really wasn't nasty. He was just effing with you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And Timbo was just like a really intimidating fella, you know?
Right. Yes.
So it was just funny watching reporters get all like, hey, man, why'd you send me over there? He didn't want to talk. He looked like he was mad.
Right.
You know, that kind of shit. So it was great.
I used to love that D line. I used to always go mess with him. Daryl Gardner told me one time I was built like a crack baby.
Right.
So you know, but I used to love them.
Yeah, but you should have turned around to him. You look like a Klingon, dude. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, that would have been the end of Chris Perkins as we know him, Big O.
Yeah. But he was the human Klingon.
He was.
You got to admit, he had all those wrinkles in his head.
Yes,
like
he
a
did.
Klingon. I was like, damn, that dude's a Klingon right there. It's crazy. Follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk and catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Perk, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely. Have a great week.
You too, Big O.
You got it. EJD Construction, Eric, has been a proud sponsor of our platform for many, many years now. We appreciate him. Call him 305-433-4843. Dade and Broward counties. Not Palm Beach, but Dade and Broward, custom home construction, major home remodeling. They do it all, and they're fully insured liability and workers' comp, which is very, very, very important. So reach out to my guys. They do it all for you at EJD Construction. And tell them that Big O sent you. 305-433-4843.